If you've ever had a very long day, followed by a very hard day, and then another hard day after that, and another hard day after that, another hard day after that, and you might really appreciate Labor Day. Labor Day is supposed to be an intentional break from the long, hard days that can go on for so long and become so hard that you sometimes wonder if it's ever going to stop. And sometimes wonder if you're going to have the strength to keep going when you know you need to. It's been that way for a long time. Hard days followed by long days followed by hard days. In Joshua chapter 10, Joshua is leading the Israelites on their way home to their promised land, and they're in the process of eliminating all the barriers that were standing in the way between them and the wonderful land that God had promised them. And they had just had a very long day, maybe the longest day in the history of the world, literally. It's the day when the sun kept shining. It did not set, so that Joshua and his army would have a full day, really a full day to be able to accomplish the work they needed to accomplish. And so that was a long, exhausting day. But after the long, exhausting day, they had another hard day. And as we'll see over the next few weeks, more hard days after that. The first one was when they had to go after the 5 different kings who had opposed them and were trying to stop them from coming into the promised land. And the 5 kings whose armies had just been defeated, they were still alive after the armies had been defeated, and they went running and they went into a cave. And Joshua gave his people the instructions. He said, go to that cave and cover it with rocks. And he said, and don't stop there. And then he gave them a few more instructions on what they were supposed to do. But I think it's significant that he told them, don't stop. I think the only reason he would have told them to not stop is because they would have been tempted to stop. Because you know how you feel after a long day. And if that long day is harder than you were expecting. And if there were surprises along the way that you never would have thought of or imagined. And then if at the end of that long, hard day, you look back at how you handled things, or the words that you said, or the words that you didn't say, or the tasks that were left undone. You know, the times when you get disappointed with yourself. After a long, hard day, you haven't gotten any better. Maybe you're tempted to stop. Stop trying, stop believing, stop hoping, stop praying. Joshua told them to not stop. They would have been feeling a lot of those things for a lot of the same reasons you and I do. He told them not to stop, and then he told them why they didn't have to. He said, because the Lord your God has already given your enemies into your hands. In God's mind, the victory was already won because he knew the outcome. He knew that in the end, his people were going to be safe and protected and well loved by their God. Well, anyone and anything that tried to stand in the way of any of those things happening, it's going to be as if they never existed in the first place. They were going to be completely defeated. And that's what ended up happening. We'll get to that in a few days or weeks. But it's also what will happen for you. God has given the victory. Well, it's already in his hands, but he's already placed it into yours. That's what Jesus won for you. When Jesus did not stop, marching step by step towards the city of Jerusalem, knowing what was coming. You know, that's what Jesus won for you when he did not stop the whip from ripping into his back, when he did not stop the nails from piercing his skin and shedding his blood. His holy, precious blood that forgave you for all the things that fill your heart with so much regret. It's what Jesus won for you. The victory, that forgiveness, when he did not stop hanging on that cross until it was finished. And the full payment was made. And there was nothing that was going to separate you from your Father in heaven ever again. The victory is what Jesus won for you when he didn't even stop after he died. He came alive again to show the whole world that when God makes a promise, not even death is going to stop it from happening. And God has most certainly promised that the victory Jesus won belongs to you. That the enemies that he defeated for you. And that the God who did not stop doing all that was necessary to accomplish those wonderful things, he still does not stop. Watching over you, loving you, guarding and guiding your life, and being so gracious every step of the way. You are always safe in the hands of a God who does not stop loving you. Rest well tonight, my friends.